Manic and Panic Monday is upon us today, and we got a lot to get into over the about the NFL over the weekend. A lot of missed opportunities. Uh, some teams' seasons are over. Some team seasons are on life support. We got a lot to discuss in the ozone today about what's going on in the NFL. Plus, college football. Mendoza took home the Heisman, but Diego Pavia was the main story. He didn't react well to him not winning the Heisman. Could that hurt him in the draft stock? We'll discuss. And I'll preview the first playoff game, which will be the Oklahoma Alabama Friday night game. And we'll just preview that, and I'll tell you where I'm leaning on that one. And we're going to get into all that and a little bit more here today in the Total Sports Ozone. Big O with the big mouth coming at you on a Manic and Panic Monday, December 15th, 2025. And we're going to jump right into it. Well, Dallas Cowboys didn't do themselves any favors last night as they lost at home to the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 34-26. Right now, the Cowboys, their season is on life support. Let's just throw it out there. Let's just call it what it is. The season is on life support. They are officially eliminated from wild card contention in the NFC playoffs. They cannot get a wild card spot. So their only way of getting into the playoffs this season is they have to win the division. And for them to do that, they have to win out, and the Eagles have to lose out. That is the only way the Cowboys can in any way, get into the playoffs. They have to win the division. And judging by the way they played last night, especially on defense, I don't think this team, even if that miracle were to happen, where the Cowboys win out and the Eagles lose out, even if that miracle were to occur, I don't think the Cowboys would do anything in the playoffs anyway. Their defense, oh yeah, they after the trade they made to get Quinn Williams and they got Logan Williams back. Yeah, for 2-3 weeks, the defense looked better. I ain't gonna say it was great, but it looked better. Well, that's all went to shit the last couple of weeks. They gave up 44 points last week to the Detroit Lions. Last night, they gave up 34 points to the Minnesota Vikings with J.J. McCarthy. So, in the last 2 weeks, the Dallas Cowboys defense has averaged 39 points per game given up. Average. That's not a defense you or I would think could do anything in the playoffs, even if they were to get there. They'd be one and done. They would be one and done. Even if they played at home with divisional winners, teams that win the division host playoff, their first round playoff game will be at home. Even if that were to happen, I just don't see the Cowboys doing anything. Not with this defense. And now, and last night, it wasn't just the defense. Brandon Aubrey, one of the more reliable kickers in the NFL, missed 2 field goals. I mean, this is a kicker you knew was good from 50 to 60 yards. He was money. He's been money. Yeah, he missed what I consider 2 chip shot field goals. He missed them. Pushed one left, one wide right. Dak Prescott, he threw for almost 300 yards, but he didn't have no touchdowns. George Pickens. Now, if you're George Pickens, you should be playing all out every game because you're a free agent after this season. And if you want that big money contract next year, the ability of a nice little 3-4 year big money contract, you think you want to ball out every game. You know what he did yesterday? 3 catches on 6 targets for 33 yards. That's it. 3 catches on 6 targets, 33 yards. He only had 1 catch for 11 yards in the first half. That's it. That's it. CeeDee Lamb, he tried, but the way the Cowboys were going, if you saw the game, you kind of knew this wasn't going to be the Cowboys' night. They gave up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Well, they gave up 1 touchdown in the first and a second touchdown right at the beginning of the second quarter. You kind of knew right then if they didn't right this ship in the second half, this was not going to go well, and it didn't. And it didn't. They gave up too many big plays, basically long passes. They let J.J. McCarthy get a nice little easy in-the-round score from the 1-yard line. Let's face it. The Cowboys are not a playoff team. They're just not. They have too many holes on defense that need to be addressed. Not just forget about the fact that Micah Parsons is in there. We'll get into him a little bit later. Forget about that. It's the fact that their linebackers are slow. They can't cover no one over the middle. No one. The secondary, I don't know if it's scheme or if it's athletic ability. But they allow too many plays deep. They allow way too many long plays of 30 or 40 yards over the middle. That should not happen. And that should not happen, especially at home. Especially at home. But that's what's going on with the Cowboys defense. And right now, they're a team on life support. I mean, they literally are on life support. I looked on the ESPN graphic this morning, and it gives the Cowboys a 1% chance to make the playoffs. 1%. I think it's less than that. Again, like I said, they have to win out, and the Eagles have to lose out. Now, we're going to look at these 2 schedules. Let's look at the 2 schedules for the teams. The Eagles and the Cowboys. Let's look at their schedules for the remainder of the season. The Eagles, they have 3 games remaining. They playing Commanders on the road. They got to go to Buffalo. And they got the Commanders again. So they got the Commanders twice in the next 3 weeks. And then they got to go to Buffalo. The way the Eagles have been playing, notwithstanding the game they played yesterday against the Raiders, because anybody can beat the Raiders. You would think with two games against the Commanders, 1 against the Bills, you would think they lose the game to the Bills, and that's it. They should be able to beat the Commanders twice. They have more than enough talent to do that. Even though they've been struggling offensively, they have more than enough talent to be able to beat the Commanders twice. The Bills game in Buffalo, that probably will be their 1 loss. So, you don't see the Eagles losing their last 3 games. You can't see that. You really can't see that. Now, let's look at the Cowboys. Their remaining schedule. They have the Chargers at home. They have the Chargers at home. And I believe that, yep, the Chargers at home. And then they got their last 2 games on the road at Washington and at New York. Now, before yesterday, I was saying all these games are winnable. Before yesterday. Now, I just don't know. With that defense, George Pickens' play is slacking off. I just don't know. They might win one of them. I'm pretty sure they can beat the Giants. But Chargers just beat the Chiefs. They just beat the Eagles. They have tough enough of a defense to hold down those 2 teams back to back. Yes, they just beat the 2 teams that were in last year's Super Bowl back to back. I know they only won by 3 points each, but hell, they wins. So the Chargers ain't no chumps. And here they coming into Arlington, Texas next week. And then they gotta go on the road, Commanders, Giants. I don't see the Cowboys with the way that defense has been playing last couple of weeks. I don't see them winning all 3 of these games. 1, maybe 2. I don't see them winning all 3. So, Cowboys season is pretty much done. So, where do we go from there with the Cowboys? The offseason should be devoted to nothing but improving the defense. Yes, you have to make a decision about George Pickens. And right now, George Pickens is playing his way out of Dallas. The way he's been playing the last 2-3 weeks, he is playing his way out of Dallas. That's the way I see it. He is playing his way out of Dallas. Maybe he don't want to be in Dallas no more. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else. But if he don't turn this around in the next 3 weeks, he got 3 more games to show and prove to the Cowboys' brain trust, particularly Jerry Jones, that he wants to stay and he wants to get paid. You got 3 games left. 3. But besides that, their offseason should be devoted to nothing but improving the defense. They need faster linebackers. They need not probably two new safeties, because their coverage deep is just deplorable. But they need linebackers. They need linebackers. They need 1, maybe 2 new safeties, and they definitely need a premier edge rusher. They had it in Michael Parsons. They traded him away. They have not replaced that kind of production. I don't know where they're going to get it. I don't know if they're going to get it in the draft, free agency, because it's not like the Cowboys got a whole lot of money to spend. And they still got to worry about George Pickens, what they do with him. So the Cowboys, that's the only decision they need to make offensively. Offensively, George Pickens, what we going to do with him. But the rest of the offseason, every move they make, draft, free agency, trade, should be devoted to improving that defense. And it might mean also to get rid of the defensive coordinator, Uberfrus, or whatever his last name is. I know he used to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Well, he's garbage as a defensive coordinator. Proof is in the pudding. The defense has been garbage most of the year. Maybe they need to get rid of the defensive coordinator. I know I would. I know I'd seriously be thinking about that right now. But the Cowboys, life support. They're on life support after botching the game last night that they should have won. And that's been the Cowboys' bugaboo all year. Because of the defense, they're losing games they have no business losing, especially at home. What they're going to do? Guess we'll find out over the next 2-3 weeks. Because remember, one more loss, they're done. And if the Eagles win one more game, they're done. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. Let's move on. Kansas City Chiefs. You know, I saw this game yesterday. And they said for the Chiefs to be eliminated from playoff contention, 4 things had to happen. The Chiefs had to lose. The Bills had to win. The Texans had to win. And the Jaguars had to win. Those 4 things had to happen for the Chiefs to be out of the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't think it was going to happen, especially early, in the first half of these games. I didn't think that would happen. I thought the Chiefs might just stave off all of that, especially when the Patriots were handing the Bills their ass in the first half of that game in Foxborough. But then it happened. The Chiefs are officially eliminated from the playoffs. For the first time in a decade, we will not see the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. It's kind of weird. If you think about it, it's like the last 10 years, we've been used to that. We've been used to seeing Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Coach Andy Reid and defense Chris Jones. We've been used to seeing them in the playoffs. We've been used to seeing them dominate in the AFC. Or even if they get a nice little challenge from a Cincinnati or a Buffalo or a Baltimore, they rise above it. Somehow they rise above it. There you go. They end up in another Super Bowl. It's not happening this year. And to add insult to injury, after the 16-13 loss to the Chargers yesterday that knocked them out of the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes, their superstar quarterback, goes down with about a minute to go. He goes down and tears his right ACL. And he's out for the rest of the season. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes. He's literally been the face of this league for the past 3-4 years. He has. Whether you liked him or not, he has been the face of the NFL for at least the last 5 years. And he's down. He's out. It was like a culmination of the season for the Chiefs that just nothing went right for this team all year. Not those close games. Remember last year? Last year, the Chiefs won like 11 or 12 games by 1 score or less. They won all those close games. This year, they can't buy a win close. They can't seem to get those close wins this year. And you ask yourself, what happened? Well, what happened is, they've been holding the AFC hostage for the past 8 years. Am I right or wrong? They have had a stranglehold on the AFC. I mean, for the last 8 years. If you wanted to go to the Super Bowl, you had to go through the Chiefs. You, one way or another, you're going to see the Chiefs if you want to get to the Super Bowl if you were in the AFC. And they beat them all. They beat them all. They beat the Bills. They beat the Bengals. They beat the Ravens. They beat all comers. But all that, you saw this if you were paying attention. You saw the slow downgrade of this team starting last year's Super Bowl. They got trounced. I mean, they got blown away in last year's Super Bowl. So you saw it. You saw, wait a minute. This ain't the Chiefs that we know over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. This is not those Chiefs. It was just like the slow downgrade, but they downshifted a little bit because they made it to last year's Super Bowl. But now that downgrade is tumbling down fast now. That downgrade is like, and the dynasty that was the Kansas City Chiefs, or the Chiefs Kingdom as they like to call it, this dynasty is gone. It's over with. I mean, you know what they say: all good things must come to an end. But you didn't want it coming. If you're a Chiefs fan, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I like Patrick Mahomes. I've always liked him. I like the way he plays. I like how he carries himself, on and off the field. I mean, he's a winner. And for the basically, you see the season end and his season end with him getting a torn ACL, and on top of the fact that they just got eliminated playoff, it's sad. It's really a sad day. I know it's a sad day in Kansas City. I'm pretty sure all the Chiefs fans are pretty much hurting right now, and I feel for you. But I guarantee you, Patrick Mahomes will be back, and maybe this is a good time. And I'm sure you see this too. If you're a Chiefs fan, you see this too. It's time for this team to be retooled, kind of like rebuild on the fly. Travis Kelce, no doubt about it, first ballot Hall of Fame, one of the best tight ends ever to play the game, no doubt. Maybe it's time for him to go. I'm pretty sure he's thinking it, especially now that Patrick Mahomes is out, and it looks like, from an ACL tear, the normal turnaround time for recovery is anywhere from 6 to 12 months. So he could be out for a chunk of next year. So Travis Kelce, I know he has a major decision to make, and I think he's already made it. In my opinion, he's already made it. It's saying it's time for him to go. And if you've seen Travis Kelce the way he's played this year, he's not been that Travis Kelce. He's still putting up decent numbers. But for him, it's a down year. And it seems like his skills and his abilities are slowly degrading. So maybe it's time for him to just hang it up. I know he wanted to play this year because he didn't like how last year ended with them getting stomped in the Super Bowl. But Father Time is undefeated. Father Time is undefeated, especially when it comes to sports athletes. When Father Time say it's time to go, it's time to go. So maybe Travis Kelce, time for him to step aside. Chris Jones, maybe it's time for him to step aside. Get some younger, get younger. It's definitely time to retool the offensive line. That offensive line is nowhere near where it needs to be. It's allowing Patrick Mahomes to get beat up. And basically he looks like sometimes he's running for his life. The line, it doesn't run block well because the Chiefs do not run the ball well, not like they used to. That offensive line definitely needs to be revamped. The defensive line needs to add a little bit more youth. I think they need to get younger and faster at corner in the secondary. And let's face it, this is a team that just needs to be overhauled a little bit. Need to get younger, need to get faster, because the league is caught up to the Chiefs. You can see that now. You see that this year. The league is caught up to the Chiefs. It's time for the Chiefs to do what the Patriots did. This similar incident happened with the Patriots when Tom Brady hurt his knee and the Patriots missed the playoffs. The Patriots, they didn't blink. They retooled on the fly. Boom. Went to another 2-3 Super Bowls with Tom Brady. So it can be done with Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure Patrick Mahomes will come back. Hopefully he'll come back better than ever. He'll definitely be back. I ain't worried about that. But what team will he be back to? Like, what Kansas City Chiefs team will he be coming back to? You got to get younger and you got to get a little faster in certain parts on offense. Tight end, offensive line, got to get younger, got to get hungrier, got to get a little faster. And defense is okay. It just needs to be tweaked on the line and then in the secondary. And what about Coach Andy Reid? He ain't getting no younger. Will he stick around for the retooling? That's the Chiefs have a hell of a lot of questions that need to be answered this offseason. Hell of a lot. I don't know what the answers are, but we're going to find out. But that's what I think should happen. The Chiefs got to go into rebuilding on the fly. That's what I call it. I don't think they need to totally blow it up. You still got Patrick Mahomes. He'll be back. They still got Worthy and Rashee Rice. Those two guys need to be fully healthy. I think them being banged up hadn't helped matters either. But just need to retool on the fly. But there's a lot of questions that are going to need to be answered in Chiefs Kingdom this offseason. And we'll be looking out for those answers to those questions when the offseason hits. But it's sad. It really is sad that for the first time in his career, we won't see Patrick Mahomes making these crazy, outlandish, miracle plays in the playoffs. But time will move on, and he'll be back. He'll definitely be back. Big O with the Big Mouth, Total Sports Ozone. Let's move on. Now, did any of y'all see the Buffalo Bills Patriots game? I mean, you got to be kidding me. I'm going to be honest. I thought the Bills were going to get ran out of Foxborough in that first half of the day. They couldn't do nothing right in that first half. Nothing. They couldn't stop the Patriots. The Patriots, scored, I think, on their first 3 drives. They went right downfield on the Patriots, on the Bills. I thought this was going to be a rout. And it should have been. It should have been the day the Patriots anointed themselves as the new beast of the AFC East. It didn't turn out that way. That's why they play 2 halves, 4 quarters, not just 1 half. If they only played just 1 half of football, Patriots would be, dancing in the streets. New AFC East champs. But they played 2 halves of football, 4 quarters. And for some reason, Patriots took the foot off the gas in the second half. And Josh Allen said, okay, watch this. After being down 24-7, at the break, Buffalo outscored the New England Patriots 28-7 in the second half. 28-7. They couldn't be stopped. Only score that the Patriots have in the second half was that long 65-yard run by Trayvon Henderson. Other than that's after Buffalo came all the way back to take the lead. And then New England got the long run by Trayvon Henderson to take the lead back. You think Josh Allen blinked? Nope. He went right back downfield. That is why Josh Allen is the league MVP. That's why. That's why I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the game today. That's why. Backs to the wall. Getting ran out of the stadium. Josh Allen said, get on my back. We going to handle business. And they did. And the defense, even after the defense got worked over, defense really got worked over in the first half, they made plays in the second half. Some of them might have been a little controversial, but they still made those plays to keep the team in the game. And that and the fact that the Patriots, for some reason, could not stop the Bills running the ball on the ground in the second half. They could not stop them. They were getting chunk runs of 7, 8, 12, 15-yard runs in the second half. There you go. 35-31, Buffalo. That was a statement win to me for the Buffalo Bills. They had no business winning that game. But it's a statement to me that's saying, don't you ever doubt Josh Allen. Don't you doubt him. You better knock him out of the game before you doubt him. And I have to say, I'm impressed. That win against New England yesterday, the backs against the wall, on the road. Forget the weather because they're both playing cold weather. But on the road, backs to the wall, terrible first half. And you still can come back, got enough in you to come back and not only win the game. That's what you call a Super Bowl contender. I don't know if Buffalo will make it, but that's what you're looking for in a quarterback. Get on my back. We gonna handle this. And that's exactly what they did in the second half. Now, the question to me, to all of you, is with this loss, New England's first loss since September, broke, I believe, a 10-game winning streak, are the Patriots truly Super Bowl contenders? After their performance yesterday, can you count on the Patriots to truly be Super Bowl contenders? Yeah. I think they just had a bad second half. This is the thing they had a bad. You're new to this. This Patriots team is new to this winning thing. They're new to it. Now they know. I think losing this game will help them in the future. Here's why. They've been tested, yes. But they've been tested by chumps. You know, they played, that means they've been playing, a lot of the games they won in their 10-game win streak, they won against bums. The Falcons, the Browns. You know, bums. You know what I mean? But to be truly tested by a contender, an actual, not just playoff, but Super Bowl contender, it is going to stick in their head that when you have a team down, especially a team that a lot of people consider a Super Bowl contender, don't let up. You put your foot on their neck and you twist. Patriots did not do that. And they learned, I'm pretty sure they learned a very valuable lesson. When you got a team down, like especially like the Bills, and you're at home, you don't let up. You don't take your foot off the gas, not even for 1 inch. You keep that foot mashed to the pedal until the game is over. And that means on both sides of the ball. You don't let up. You stay relentless. You stay attacking. Do what got you that lead. Don't let up. I think the Patriots learned that. Remember, they're young. Drake May and all the Trayvon Henderson and all that. All those guys. They're young. They're new to this winning thing. They're new to this being a contender thing. I mean, even Mike Vrabel, he's a little new to this being a Super Bowl contender thing. Well, they all got learned a valuable lesson yesterday. When you are playing a contender, don't just rest on your laurels. You play all out until the game ends, until the final gun goes off, and you have more points than the other team. That's why I think the Patriots lost yesterday. They took the foot off the gas. And you can't do that against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I don't care how. Now, Buffalo Bills defense needs work. It needs a lot of work. Trust me, it needs a lot of work, especially at linebacker. It needs a lot of work. But when you got Josh Allen, that man's a warrior. He's got that. Sometimes he gives you that look like he refused to lose. And yesterday in the second half, he had that look, refused to lose. And they pulled out the victory to keep their divisional hopes alive. Because now they're only one game back. They're only one game back at 10-4. And they pulled even at the head-to-head because they both won the game each. So the Bills are still in the running and win the AFC East. They pulled themselves back into that running with a very, very impressive comeback win yesterday. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Am I going to anoint the Buffalo Bills the next winner of the Super Bowl? Nah. Not with that defense. Can't do it. But as long as Josh Allen is breathing and upright, they always will have a chance. You can never doubt Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills as long as he is on that team. And again, Patriots, you learned the lesson. When you got them down, don't let up. You keep your foot gassed all the way to the floor until the final gun. Lesson learned. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. I didn't want to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it up for a second. I'm going to bring this up for a second. About football in Ohio. Football in Ohio. Now, it's a shame. It is really a shame. There are 3 football teams in Ohio that most Ohioans follow. Two of them are NFL franchises, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, and then you got the one in the middle, which is a college football team, the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know, it's a damn shame when your best football team in the state of Ohio is the college football team. That's a shame. That's a shame. That is a shame. Both the NFL teams in the state of Ohio have been eliminated from the playoffs. Both teams will have at least 10 losses. Now, let's talk about the Bengals. Joe Burrow is giving off this aura that he might want to leave. That, you know, he ain't coming here to lose. But thing is, he can't stay healthy. And the reason why he can't stay healthy, he's getting beat up because of a lack of an offensive line. Now, let's look at the Cleveland Browns. Their problem is they don't have a quarterback. They're trying to find out right now if they have one. Hell, they might go into the next draft drafting another one. Who knows? Now, if Joe Burrow was on the Browns, would it be different? I don't know. I think the Browns will be a little better because one thing Jimmy and D Haslam, you can call them whatever you want as owners of the team. You can call them failures or whatever. One thing they are not scared to do is spend money. They are not scared to spend money to make improvements on the team. And we're talking about personnel, we're talking about infrastructure, whatever. That's one thing I've learned about the Haslams. Jimmy and D Haslam, as the owner of the Browns, they're not afraid to spend money. Look what they did look what they did. They got Deshaun Watson, been paying him. He ain't done a damn thing. So they're not afraid to spend that money. Haslam's problem is they don't spend it wisely. That's their problem. They don't spend it wisely. Or the people that makes their decisions don't make good decisions when it comes to the roster and the personnel. That's their problem, especially at quarterback. The Bengals' problem is they have a cheap owner. That man pinches pennies until they scream. And he won't spend the money to upgrade that offensive line. But you got a franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow. The man took you to a Super Bowl. Damn near won it. Second year. You would think you would spend whatever dime you could to protect him, to keep him upright, to make sure he got all the tools he needs, all the weapons he needs. Running back, wide receiver, offensive line. You would think, as the owner of the Bengals franchise, you would think that man, Joe Burrow, your franchise quarterback, would be important enough to your franchise that you would do everything you could to protect him. Have we seen that happen? Hell no. Maybe that's why Joe Burrow's been making the comments he's been making. Would you blame him? I don't. See, that's the tale of the two Ohio teams. One team won't spend money for shit to protect the franchise quarterback that they were gifted. The other team will spend money, but they don't spend it wisely. Why both teams are so sorry right now? Suck. I mean, they could fire their head coaches and whatever. And that's the root of the issue with the two Ohio NFL teams. One, the Bengals won't spend the money. The other one, the Browns, will spend the money, but they don't spend it wisely. They don't make good decisions, especially when it comes to personnel. And at quarterback, hence, they haven't had a quarterback since who knows when. They definitely haven't had a bona fide quarterback since they were rebirthed in 1999. That's been the Browns' problem. Bengals' problem is they got a quarterback, won't spend the money to protect him. Oh, yeah, they paid Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, but what about the line? That's why he's always getting hurt. That offensive line is garbage. Mike Brown, the owner, general, whatever you are of the Bengals, get your head out of your ass and see what you have in front of you. Or else that franchise quarterback that you got, he's either going to quit on you or he's going to demand to be traded. And then you're going to be back. You're going to be back in NFL purgatory like you were for decades. I'm telling you, protect your investment. Your major investment on the team is Joe Burrow. You need to start thinking about that, Mr. Mike Brown. Protect your investment. Upgrade that line. Do whatever you got to do. Stop being so damn cheap. Quit acting like you spending money at the Dollar Tree or the $1.25 tree, as they call it now. You need to upgrade your spending to at least Walmart, damn it. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. All right. Let's jump into college football a minute while we got time. College football, as we all know, as we seen, Fernando Mendoza was the runaway winner of the 2025 Heisman Trophy. And he deserves it. No doubt about it. Best player on the number one team in the country. Big Ten champions, 13-0, undefeated. Indiana Hoosiers. It's still shaking my head, though. Indiana. That's right. The Indiana Hoosiers, number one team in the country. Right now, going into the playoffs. And Heisman Trophy winner from Indiana. Yeah, that's right. It takes a little bit. It takes a little bit to let that register in your head. Like Indiana? Indiana? That's right. Because for decades, forever, for decades, Indiana hasn't done a damn thing in college football. And now, like I said, Kirk Cinetti, if he ain't coach of the year, I don't know who can be. Because in 2 years, he's turned the losingest program in college football into the number one team in the country and Big Ten champions in 2 years. Hey, that's doing your job. But I digress. He won, but there was one of the other candidates that really didn't take well to losing. And I'm pretty sure y'all have all seen the video on social media, Diego Pavia and his comments and what he said and basically his lack of class after the trophy presentation ceremony. And I'm thinking like this. Young man, why are you doing that? I mean, you got to show some class, man. It's like you're acting already like uh, a newer version of Johnny Manziel. Don't act like that, please. I beg you, don't act like that. Hell, it was an honor. You should be honored that you were even nominated. You know how many college football players there is in this country? And you and 3 others were nominated for the biggest, most prestigious award a college football player could get. And you were one of the last 4 nominees. You, Diego Pavia, out of all these college football players all over the country, you and 3 others were nominated for that trophy. You didn't win it. Yeah, that's the breaks. Only one player can win the damn thing. But the thing is, to be nominated for the biggest, highest college football award in the country, you should be honored, man. And you should be proud of that. But you also should lose with grace, with class. It's not like you're a loser just because you didn't win that trophy, but it seemed like you had a lot of sour grapes in that video because you didn't win. Yes, a lot of people voted for you. Yes, a lot of people might have thought you should have won. But you didn't. But you did not. I'm thinking maybe if you'd have beat Texas, you probably would have won it. I think so. You sure did put up the numbers and you still had the moxie and the skill to be the best player in college football. But you came up short. Now, I've heard that Diego Pavia apologized for his remarks on that video after the ceremony presentation. But still, man, you can't do that, man. You cannot do that. You can't go in there acting like old jealous fool, you know, acting like that jealous boyfriend, girlfriend stepped off with a better plan. You can't act like that. Not when you trying to go to the NFL. This could hurt the draft stock. You got to remember, these NFL execs, these GMs and whatever, they ain't just looking at skill, they're looking at character. They ain't just looking at just skill and ability at the quarterback position. They're going to look at your character, your leadership ability. And you posting videos like that, it could hurt your draft stock, man. That's all I'm saying. You cannot do that. I know you're disappointed in losing the Heisman. Yeah. Anybody would be disappointed in losing that trophy. But still, you got to be able to lose with grace. You got to show the public that. At least show the scouts and the NFL executives that you can lose with grace and dignity. That shows them you're an adult. You ain't no damn child. especially when you want to get paid the big bucks at the next level. You got to show that. You got to show you can be humble. You can show a little class, a little grace. That's what they're expecting of you. And that's what you should be expecting of yourself, especially when you were a Heisman Trophy finalist. You got to be bigger than that, man. That's all I'm saying. You got to be bigger than that. Now, I'm glad he apologized. That's the thing. I am glad he apologized, but still, you can't do that no more, man. No. You can't do that. You just gonna hurt nobody but yourself. Trust me. You got to calm that down. If you're disappointed, fine. Do not put it on social media. If you want to be mad, you want to cuss and fuss, do it. Do it in the background. Do it at home. Because you didn't win. Okay, fine. You want to have a hissy fit about not winning? Fine. But don't post it on social media. Don't do that. Because the only one that's going to be hurt is you. Trust me. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. All right. Let's preview the first college football playoff game, which will be Friday night. And that will be Alabama, who I still think shouldn't even be in the playoffs, going to Norman to play the Oklahoma Sooners. This game is Friday, 7 o'clock Central, so it'll be 8 o'clock Eastern. Now, according to the odds makers, we get into that later. But Alabama, surprisingly, is favored by 1.5. Surprisingly. I didn't know that. I'm wondering how the hell it is a team who can barely run the ball is favored in a playoff game against a team that beat them in their house. Odd, isn't it? Scratch your head, odd, isn't it? Let's put it like this. Here's the whole thing of this game. Which quarterback will make the least mistakes? Will it be Tyler Simpson or will it be John Mateer? Now, if John Mateer, who on this season has 12 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, against Simpson's 26 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. But remember, Mateer lost. Mateer got hurt. Got his throwing early in the season. He looked like he could be in the running for a Heisman Trophy bid, but he hurt his thumb. And I think that's what threw his whole game on. Him hurting his thumb. And he miraculously came back. Somehow he miraculously came back and played in the Red River Shootout 1 week after having surgery. He came back in the Oklahoma-Texas Red River game, but he wasn't effective. And I think that threw his whole game out. But he's turned it on late. And he's guided them to probably the biggest win of the year for the Oklahoma Sooners, beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa. That game is what got them into the playoffs. Beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa, it probably is what got them their playoff bid. Now, offensively, yeah. Neither team runs the ball very well. Alabama don't run the ball very well at all. I mean, damn. Last game they had in the SEC championship, -3 yards rushing. Did you hear what I said? I said -3 yards total rushing. It's amazing they scored a touchdown in that game. It's amazing they didn't get shut out. Now, neither team, like I said, neither team runs the ball very effectively. But Tyler Simpson is a gamer. But Oklahoma has one of the better defenses in the country. I think they're third or fourth in points allowed this season. And they're going to be at home. Again, my key to this game is the quarterback that makes the least amount of mistakes. I mean, neither team is going to, I don't think either team is going to run the ball well because they haven't all year. I don't think that's going to start now. So it's going to be on the quarterback play. And the quarterback who makes the least mistakes and manages the game better will win this game. I'm not going to not say, ooh, Alabama going to get their ass whooped because they can't run the ball. Oklahoma can't run the ball either. This is a perfect, like I said, I still don't think Alabama should be in the playoff. But this is a perfect 8-9 matchup because you got two teams who have a deficiency on offense. So it's going to basically have decent defenses. Both teams have decent defenses. Both teams has a deficiency on offense, running the ball. And both teams have decent quarterbacks, but one's still recovering from a thumb injury, and the other one is, to me, is too inconsistent. Which quarterback will make the least mistakes? That is the quarterback. That team's quarterback. That's the team who will win the game. I'm not going to pick the game now. I'll save my pick for Friday. For Friday's show. When I do my pick on Friday. But that's my preview. And that's my key to the game. Quarterback play. Neither team can run the ball. At least not effectively. So, it's going to come down to quarterback play. The quarterback that makes the least amount of mistakes. No interception, no long overthrows. Can still make the chains move, especially on third down. Quarterback that can handle all that. That's the team that's going to win the game. We'll see. This game is Friday. College football playoffs start this Friday. Friday night. Prime time. Can't wait for it. Big O with the big mouth. Total Sports Ozone. And it's time for me to get out of here. Tomorrow, we will preview another college football playoff game. And we will recap tonight's Dolphins-Steelers matchup. Steelers, they gotta win. They need to win. They got to keep the Ravens off the butt. If they want to stay up a game ahead of them in the AFC North. Because the Ravens did win. Big win against the Bengals. So Steelers need to get this win tonight. We'll see what happens, and we'll recap it tomorrow. And we're going to look into a little bit more in the NBA. Plus, Top 5 Tuesday. Got to give you my top 5 teams in the NFL. There might be some changes. I'll let you know. Tomorrow, right here in the Total Sports Ozone. See ya.